Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, July 9th, and this is your pre-market analysis, QOL trading. I want to start out by welcoming anybody new. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button, like this video. And then you can go down to the links below, and you can go to our website at QOLtrading.com. And you'll find on the first page, you put your name and email address in there, and you will be subscribed for our free weekly newsletter that we put out every Sunday. And in the newsletter, we go over the week in review and what's to come for the weeks coming. And then in that newsletter, we go over the levels, my bias on certain broader markets, stocks, of course. And then I'll cover geopolitical news and any kind of economic data that we see in the future, earnings, etc. And then also you can go and join our Discord community. Either link up here. You can either do the live trading desk or the Discord symbol up here. So if you go to the live trading desk, it'll bring you to a sign-in page, and you can join for free down below. You can join our trade room from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Every day, Monday through Friday. And you hit that button up there, and then our new QOL ORB Scalper indicator that we have on TradingView. You can purchase that, or you can get a bundle package here with the indicator plus a live trade room, which that's the one thing I would recommend because you're going to have to know how to read things. So it's not telling you to take a trade. It's just taking away a lot of decisiveness for you. So anyways, that being said, let's get into our rinse and repeat every day. We go over economic data in the morning here. Unemployment claims came out 215, expecting 218. I'm probably going to anticipate that that's going to be positive for the market before we even look at it. I didn't even take a look at it in the last 10 minutes. So let's see. I think that's going to be about it. You have some Fed speak today at 8 o'clock. You've got existing home sales at 9 o'clock. That may be a number that may get a little reaction there. Nothing on the docket for tomorrow. So war is escalating again in Iran. It does not seem to be impacting things, but we will get into things right now. So let's get over here. We'll start with the VIX. So the VIX spiked on the news of the more bombings in Iran, and then you could see it kind of rejected the 200-day moving average. We are below the 50-day moving average at 1739, as well as being below the 20-day moving average at 1726. We are below yesterday's close. I'd like us to kind of nosedive down here to 1574. And those of you that don't understand the VIX, it's a volatility index, and so it just measures, how volatile the markets are. So you want it flat. You'd like it below $15.74. That means that you're not going to have, not that you're not going to have big swings in the market, but the markets tend to do the opposite of what the VIX does. So let's go and get into some oil real quick. Oil elevated, of course, with the newly bombings that were happening. However, we are below the 200-day moving average, sitting at 74.11. So call it $74 a barrel. And the 20-day moving average is 74.82 a barrel. So, we do like to see this, lower here. If we can get down to that 67, that really impacts us at the pump. But it's going to take a little while for the oil price to reflect in our gas prices that we pay. If we get above the 20-day moving average, we could be approaching this $84.34 a barrel. It was a gap down from June 15th. And then you have the 100-day and the 50-day moving average sitting, call it about $88 and change. So ideally, we'd like to get below the $67.83 a barrel. That would be fantastic. But you could see with not a surprise that it's escalating this week right now due to the tensions increasing again. So the ES right now, the news, that unemployment news seems to have a little bit of a positive impact right now. But, you got to pay attention down here. This is where your money's made on the volume, right? So this is pre-market stuff. You can get a kind of an idea on things, but, I would not base my trade bias on like, oh, wow, we're definitely going up. Look at this rally here. It's a 15-minute chart we're looking at right now. You could take a look at it. You do have a high of the pre-market and low of the pre-market, and you could treat that as a break, one way or the other. So if you break the pre-market high, You know, the market's not going to open for another 55 minutes, but when the market does open and it you know, you have your pre-market range, you can then place a you know, you could place a trend line one way or the other, and if it breaks it one way or the other, then you could take that trade. That's what our ORB Scalper does for you. It plots that automatically, so you don't have to worry about doing that when the market's open. So that's actually a wonderful thing. So same thing here on the ES. I would say what's forming here right now, if you get above 75, 57, 71, that could be your range to break and possibly push into that 75, 93, 75 level. You can see right here, this is what I'm talking about with pre-market. You could see pre-market here yesterday. Oh, everything was looking down, looking down, looking down. And then, you know, by the time the market opened, it, you know, opened up midway point, and then boom, came down, retraced it. And then we retraced all that pre-market move right now, and we are higher. So you could actually put a level here at 75, 47, 91. I don't mind this level. This is the, you know, this is kind of like your break in structure from the previous day. So not a bad level here to take a long, and then potentially you could push all the way up into that 75, 93, 75 level. And you know, you are above the 50 at 74, 94.93, and the 20-day moving average at 7,500. So good levels to hold right there. Even this low here from the 7th at 75.29.55. So lots of levels you can base your trades off of, right? So let's get over to the SPY. SPY, it's going to have similar stuff here. 750.25 is going to be the line in the sand to get over. If you can get above that, you could push to 757.70, and then possibly the all-time highs at 760 and change. Down below, if you lose 743.46, I think you come down here to the lows here at 740.05, which is the July 2nd, rather. And then below that, you've got a decent level here, 736.53. That I don't mind a little break and retest of this area here. You got above it, you broke it, now maybe come down and test it again. If you lose that, you got a weekly low at 731.75. If you lose 731.75, I don't have another level of good support. Maybe 720.25. I mean, you could put this pre-market low down in here too, but I don't put a lot of weight on the pre-markets here. So important if the market does flush to hold these levels here. On the upside, get above that 750.25 so you can push in that 757.70. Let's get over the Nasdaq right now. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. You have this open point of control here that's sitting above the 20-day moving average at 29,930, and then this point of control that's open, call it 30,000, right? I've got it at 29,989, and if you get above that, then you can start, you know, retracing this whole downside here. Get up to that 30,545 on the downside. We're already holding this 29,507, which is good, and we are above the 50-day moving average. As long as you're above the 50-day moving average, I don't mind the longs. However, you could be trading in this consolidating area from between the 50 and the 20-day moving average. It's it for the Nasdaq. The Qs are going to look very similar. The Nasdaq, I was telling you, I was looking kind of weak for me the other day too. So here's the same thing on the Qs. We're sitting right here above 720.21, or below it rather. If you can get above that, then you can push that 731.25. We are holding above the 50, which is good right now. 50 is sitting at 712.62. If the market flushes and you lose the 50 today, I think you're going to come back down here and test the 707 level again. And then if you lose the 707, 723 is going to be a level that you're going to have to try to get through. On the upside, though, if you do push, probably get some resistance up here at 731.92. If you do plow through that and you get some good support up there, then you're going to push back to all-time highs, 748.65. Okay, people, let's get into the Mag 7 here real quick here. Where is it? All right. And let me get this. Let's start with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is one of the main ones here. Getting some good push on NVIDIA right now. If you can get through this 208.76 level, I'd like us to get to that 219.09 level. Do I think it happens in a day? No, not necessarily. However, big level here. You may get some resistance there in the morning. If you get some resistance, you may pull back down here to this 204.13. But you can see how it's respecting it in pre-market right now. So take a couple longs here. One, I would, as long as you're above 204.13, I don't mind a long pushing, and especially if you can pop and hold above 208.76, I really like that long there too. Downside, if you lose this 199.34 level, I think you drop back down into this regressional trend line. And then 190 is in the picture here. And then 188.88 is a level of a pullback long from March 16th. Below that, 181.22 is a level there. So, but positive thing right now, we are above this regressional trend line. If you pull back, this could be a level to take a long 200 level. But I do like a level here at 204. It's not bad if you want to be, if you want to, just get right at it. It's a little risky right now with pre-market pushing right here, but be careful. This 208.76 level could get some resistance there and some headwinds, and then sell off at that level right there. So Apple's pushing, chugging along, really trying to get back to those all-time highs here. You can see kind of a little cup and handle forming here on Apple. So I would say on Apple, if you get above this 315.70 level, you could push towards the all-time highs, 317.40. And if you get above that, next level I have above there, it's uncharted territory, but I've got a Fibonacci extension level, 127% at 334.90. So if you get through 317.40, you could push up into that 334.98 level. It's a nice little cup and handle forming here, right? So this could be your neckline right here. I don't mind. It's 315.85. You get above that, then I think you can zoot up there. Downside though, if you lose this 305 level, I think this move is going to retrace itself, probably come down to 298.21. And then if you lose that 298.21 level, I think you come back down here and test this 288.19 level on the downside. Okay, let's go and keep moving along here. Meta. I said this the other day on Meta, you have to watch this move to be retraced, and sure enough, it's retracing. We're looking at a 4-hour chart on Meta right now. It's a lot easier to look at and get a nice holistic picture. You can see this line here, this upper trend line at 635.90 if you did end up popping all the way back up there. But you are getting the downside right now. It is kind of trying to hold this 581.06 level. If you lose that, I've got a 572.24 level. And that would definitely just retrace this whole entire speed zone that we had up here. So I would say that this is probably going to be your line in the sand, 580.52 today. If you can hold that, you can go higher. If you lose that, you're coming down to 572.24, and below that, 565.74. And then we have this lower end regressional trend line from that big move that we had. When was that move? Yeah, that was on the 1st of July. So 560.82 on the downside also, and then you've got some decent support over there at 356.80. Okay, let's keep moving on. Google's getting some. You can see we're making some lower highs, lower lows right now on Google. Got to hold that 352.83 level. Below that, 348.10 is a decent level. If you lose 348.10. This whole move up is a speed zone. You lose this whole move up, and you probably come down to this 334.12 and maybe even 330.47. Below that, I don't have anything until 319.39. On the upside, if you can push and you can get back above the 363.09, you can push in at 373.60, where you'll probably get some headwinds up there. If you can get through that, then 378.26 is a May 26 low, where you'll probably get some resistance up there as well. So there's all kinds of speed zones everywhere. So very important. You got to hold. You got to hold this 350.31 level this week. If you lose that, then this is all going to be a speed zone on the downside, right? Just like this speed zone down here. Everybody's selling right here, and then it retraces itself. So the same thing happens on the upside. Okay, let's move on. Let's go over to Amazon. Amazon, looking at a 4-hour chart as well. Got to get above 342.70. If you stay below this 342.70, I don't mind the shorts. Same thing. They'll probably retrace this entire move down to 233.80, and then if you lose 233.80, 226.10, which was a fantastic level that we had here from the other day. That was on the charts since April 8th. Unfortunately, if you lose 226.10. You probably come down to this 219.65 level. I can even plot that for us right now for your level of support. On the upside, you want to get above 245.73 in order to push into that 252.53 level. And then if you do get above that, you'll probably get a headwind up there at 255.19 for some resistance. Above 257.09, push back towards all-time highs at 278 and change. Okay, lastly, Microsoft out of the Mag 7, then we'll get into SpaceX and Tesla. So looking at a 4-hour chart again, must hold 374.39, 374.39 is your line in the sand today. If you lose that level, 366.64 is your next line of support. And then below that, we're going to retrace this move again. That was from June 26th. Probably come back down here and test these lows at 349.50 again. And if you lose 349.50, 333.19 is your next level. On the upside, if you can get above this regressional trend line sitting at 385.91, you could push into the 400 level. If you do push in that 400 level, I would not be surprised to get headwinds there rather. Kind of a break and retest of a low, right? So the market broke the low, come back up here and test it, and then probably have some resistance up there for the market to sell off again. If you can get above that 432, which would be fantastic, I like a 413.05 level. We are looking at a 4-hour chart, right? So it's not moving quite as rapidly as you would like to see, but 4-hour charts gives you a better holistic view of things, right? Okay, that being said, let's do SpaceX and we'll get into Tesla, and then we'll talk about what we are doing today. Wrong chart here, people. Sorry about that. SpaceX. So SpaceX here, we are looking at a 15-minute chart on SpaceX. It is just in a consolidation period right now, people. So I went over these levels yesterday. Yeah, we did dip below the 150 level though. That was pretty big. That was the open for the IPO. So now we are above it right now. Line in the sand for today. If you're trading SpaceX, I like the longs as long as you're above the 150 level. If you're down, if you lose the 150 level, you'll come back into yesterday's close. If you lose yesterday's close, I have nothing until down at 135. On the upside, if you do take a long up here, I would be careful at this 155 level. Could get some resistance here. It's the same thing I talk about, break and retest lows. So when you break a low and it comes back up, it'll retest it and then sell off that level again. However, we do have a nice speed zone here. So if you do plow through it and you can regain this 155, I would even say 157 level. If you can get above this 157 level, I think you're pushing into 165.52. That would be a decent level before you would get some resistance up here to the 168.35 level. Must hold the 150 level today, and especially the close. So your range right here on the downside here, 148.30 to 150. Must hold this level right here. If you lose this, we're going to have more downside. Okay, let's do some Tesla, and then we will get into what we're going to trade for today. Tesla. So sorry the chart looks a little noisy here, but held some decent levels yesterday, 390.50. You could see this nice little double bottom that formed yesterday. So same levels today, not going to change. In order to get some upside, you're going to have to get above the 20-day moving average. I'm going to get rid of this level here. We're below the 100 at 397.54 and below the 20 at 399.07. If you can get above this 20, then you could get some pushback to the upside. But you can see Tesla, same thing we talk about speed zones. Went, down, it did not quite recover this entire downside speed zone. So that when it did not do that, that told me there was going to be some more downside, right? So we do have some speed zones here though. So if you can get above 410.01, then I think you could push back into this 414.50. This is that November 2021 high we constantly speak of. And then if you push through that, you've got the 20-day moving average, which was there were definitely a lot of sellers up there, right? So you could just see this big wick on what morning was that? On the 7th. And so must hold 390.50, right? So you see right here, the market tested it here, popped up, came and tested it again. So the buyers stepped up at this level here. It's like there's more confirmation here too. I've got a regressional trend line that's sitting here from May that I drew. So not bad. However, pay attention to where you are in your moving averages. We are below the 100 and below the 20. So you got to get above those in order to be comfortable with your longs. We do have a 387.80 level here, which is a high from the 26th of June. Not a bad level there. If you lose that level, we have a longer regressional trend line from October 2025. So this one would give me a lot more support here, 382.78. It's also a low. It's also a monthly low from November. So if we did flush, 382.78 is a level that I would like though. So big level though, you got to get above 400 level, 403 level with Tesla. This 403 is a level here that I've got highlighted in order for Tesla to continue to move forward on the upside though. But we could consolidate for a little bit, so be careful on that. as far as what we are going to trade for today, we are going to use tomorrow's expiration date. So you have 2 days on your theta, which is time decay, and your premium. So you can see right here the 400 calls, they close at about $3.40, right? So if you buy a one lot of question, your risk is $340. On the downside, I got a 380 put up here. I'm going to change that, and we are trading. So I'm probably going to give it I'll give it a maybe a $10 range here and see if we can get some upper premiums here. So the premium did pop to $2.45. $2.45. So if we lose yesterday's close, this will get us up into the $3 range. But you can see right now we don't know where the market's gonna where it's gonna open. It's up a little bit from the close yesterday at 393.45. So we will we'll leave the 385s puts up there and see what that's gonna bring us for tomorrow. Also, going over our scalper here, right? And remember, this is not telling you when to take a trade. It's telling you probabilities, and it's taking away a lot of the decisiveness, right? So right now we're looking at a 1 minute chart on Tesla yesterday, and this is the beautiful scalper that we have right now, and it's telling you. Let me see if I can do a better job at showing everybody this. So it's telling everybody, it plots your opening range for you every morning. And then it gives you your price targets, one on the upside, one on the first price target on the upside, the second price target on the upside, as well as on the downside. Here is your purple line. That's your first price target on the downside. And then your kind of light purple line here, your second price target. And so what's happening here is you can see the range here, and then everything that you're seeing on the screen right now is, when the market opens, it's automatically plotted for you. You don't have to be scrambling around and drawing trend lines and trying to figure out how to trade and when to trade. So it gives you your signal. So it says right here, ORB short, right? Opening range short. And then it's giving you a directional area. So after that, you have to make up your decision whether you want to take a trade or not, right? This is all for educational purposes. I have been using this because it just complements my trading strategy. I gave it I made the code based on my trade strategy. And you can apply this opening range to the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute. And you can apply any symbol in here. And so, like, for example, here, let's change Tesla and let's grab NVIDIA. So this is NVIDIA from yesterday. Let me clean this up. So NVIDIA from yesterday, you can see NVIDIA. Look at the beautiful move on NVIDIA. Boom. Broke your range. Didn't give you a signal right here. Interesting enough on NVIDIA, this is the first time I'm looking at it. It gave you a signal right here. So it gave you, the first signal it gave you was at 953. And then you could have taken your long and then first price target here. And then it didn't give you an exit on your second price till you hit your second price target, right? So decent moves on this, right? So you have to then, so the reason why I trade options is because you have a bigger bang for your buck. And then when you, once you have more leverage, then you could base your trade strategy on it. So right now you're looking at this move. It was a $2 move, but a $2 move on an option could get you like 80 cents, right? So if you buy, if you're buying a one lot, that's $80. So for every one lot, it's $80, right? So if you bought a 10 lot, it's $800 and your day is done, right? Fantastic. So in order to see more of this, come on down into the description and go to our QOL trading channel, and then you can actually get a free day subscription into the trade room, and we go over this. And I've been going over it more and more, where it's more than just sitting around and waiting for somebody to tell you when to eat. You make your own conclusions on things. But what everything does, the scalper does for you down here, it spells it out for you. So it tells you, this is the NVIDIA from yesterday. Here's a 1 minute chart here on the left, a 2 minute in the middle, 5 minute on the right side. It gives you your range for all of these, right? So you can see the range was $1.40 on a 1 minute, $2.60 on a 2 minute, and $2.90 on a 5 minute. And then it rates the range, right? And so it'll give you the quality of the range, a 92 on the 1 minute, 80 on the 2 minute, 77 on the 5 minute. Those are all positive qualities. It's a 0 to 100 grade. Then on the downside here, underneath that, it tells you your grade on the long side. It also gives you a grade on the short side. So you can see right here, You have a B grade on the long side right now, but because it's, it's pre-market right now, so I can go like this. These ranges that you see right now are from yesterday. However, what you're seeing right here on the long and the short grade, these are live, right? And then it's also giving you a trend bias, so long. And then it's telling you below that, the state, no active trade, meaning it gave a signal. If it gives you a signal that you could be in a trade, it'll say active trade down here. And then down here below, it tells you is the session in or out. And it's telling you right now it's out. Anyways, that's going to be enough of that, and hope to see you in the Discord channel. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. And if I don't see you in there, I'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.